Thank you very much for coming to. Sorry. Thank you very much for coming to today's Tocharische class. And today is our seventh class, and it is also the last meeting this year. So today is actually the last meeting in 2020. So our next one will be the next meeting will be next year, so 11th January 2021. Yeah. So usually as usual we start with Tocharische grammar, okay, and then we talk about when we continue reading some passages. Yeah, probably. I think we can finish the verse here, and then we probably can move on to the prose section. Yeah. Okay, so the grammar. Sorry, I close the window. It's a little bit noisy outside. So I think we can talk about the verbs this time. So previously we talked about the nouns. We'll talk about the present and also the subjunctives. And now we can probably talk about the preterite. Okay. Yes. So we talk about the Tocharische preterite. Okay. So here you can see we have in Tocharische 6 classes of preterite, 6 different kinds. And from the preterite, we can build imperatives. Yeah, so that's the reason why we also have 6 different kinds of imperatives. But not every class is well tested or not so popular. Only like the first 3 frequently used. Okay, so first one, which is also the, I think it's most productive class. The first class, it's also called the A preterite. And for the first class, you can see some examples, right? Now, so here are several verbs. Kut, kersha, klar, kut. So now we don't actually need to worry ourselves, or we don't actually need to know the meaning. We just to check the formation of the first class. So it's called A preterite. It means that we have actually a suffix R. We have a suffix R after the root and before the ending. For example, for the first one, kutk. So you find the numbers here, right? So the word kutk, which means to cross, to cross over. In B, the preterite read is shutkawa. To see what happened here. So first we have the palatalization, right? So first we have a palatalization of the root umlaut, the how to say that, umlaut, the root onset of the first consonant, right? And then you have a suffix R here. Yeah, so this is what you find the description here. So you have umlaut sometimes, and then you have the palatalization. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Okay. And then let's check the. So for the first root, the Tocharische A form is here, I find it here called a Stück. Yeah. I know it looks different from this one. It goes back actually to how to say that the syllable structure in Tocharische A. So originally the consonant group is actually t, k, yeah. So we would actually expect something like sh, t, k, yeah. But usually we don't write two consonants at the end. I think it's also like Sanskrit. So you would not have a double consonant at the end of the word. Yeah. So you would change the syllable structure a little bit. So that's why we have the shutaka like here. Yeah. Because the third person singular, the ending is actually 0. Yeah. So we don't have it. But you will see that here, earth is kind of an exception. Erk is also an exception. So it means that if we have a liquid earth or erk, it is possible to have the two consonants at the end. But otherwise, if you have a dental plus velar, you would usually change the syllable structure a little bit. Yeah, so this is actually the reason. Okay, and then let's probably check the second word, which means to cut. And cursor, we find it here, and the preterite reads like sharsha. Yeah, so you have a palatalization here, k to sh, yeah, and then the ending. Well, it's not actually. Yeah, it's ending. Yeah, here, but it actually goes back to the suffix "a." Okay, and originally the third person singular in preterite should have an ending "t," but the "t" was dropped. Okay, so that's why we have a "shasa" here. Okay, only a suffix here. But then in Tocharische A, it's "shus." Okay, so the final consonant and the final vowel are all dropped. They're both dropped. So we have "shus." It's just to look like the root "kus," but with palatalization. Okay, "shus." And then the similar one, "kula," you have "shada," "sh" here. So it's basically it's pretty simple. You just have a suffix "a" and then you have palatalization. Yeah. Active, but in middle it's not palatalized. You can see shada but klate. Okay, so sh but klat. Yeah, so the suffix is "a." Yeah, okay, so this is actually the first class called A preterite. Okay, and then this is just other forms we can actually compare. Yeah, and probably here we can check the endings. We can, so this is Tocharische B, and then we move on to Tocharische A. So this is our focus. So here is more complete. You can see the ending for the first person is a long A or A, and then the second person is st. And the third person, there's no ending, the 0 ending. Yeah. But if we have a, how to say that, enclitic pronoun which usually attached to the verb, to the verbal form, and we will have an R in between, and sometimes you write a long R, yeah, but sometimes you have an R here. And then the plural, you have M, S, or Er. Yeah. So this is for the active, okay? And for the middle, well, it's not really complete, so we can actually check this book, Tocharische Elementarbuch. So we find it here. are acht, 0, but with enclitic pronoun, you have a R in between. And then, well, dual is pretty rare. You can actually ignore it. And then plural, you have mus, us, and R. Yeah, you can see here the R is missing because sometimes if it's in an unstressed position in tocharism A, the R can be eliminated, can be deleted. Yeah, so this is kind of a sound change in tocharism A. Yeah. And then you have, well, deponents here means middle. Yeah. So you have the singular kote, kotat. Okay, this is middle. Yeah. E, te, te. Okay. And then you have for the plural kotamat, kotamut, kotach, kotant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically the, I think the most productive case. Yeah, okay. And then the second one is called the S-aorist. We can check later. Yeah. This is still the A class, but kind of reduplicated. Yeah, okay. I think we can move on. Yes. So the next class is actually the S preterite. You find it yes, the second class is actually reduplicated. You can find it. Yes, the second class is actually reduplicated. Second preterite is with reduplication. Like this word, it's called kern, and you have kakernar, yeah, and then ter, aufheben. You have chechar, yeah, and so on. Ter and you have chacher and so on. Yeah, so this is reduplication. Yeah, sturmam, you have means stay, and you have shashmal and shashram. Yeah, so the second class is marked by reduplication. Okay, and this reduplication brings a meaning, a causative meaning. Okay. Yes, yeah. And then the third one is called the S preterite. But pay attention, the S morpheme, you don't really find in every form. So for example, if we check this example, if we check this verb, plek, which means to ask, fragen, okay? So I asked, called plekwa, and then prakasta, and then plexa. So we find the S, for example, in third person, right? Third person singular, and then, yeah, and also in medium, yeah, check it. Find it in medium, yeah, in middle, yeah, like parksa. So this is B, parksamai, okay. Also the same is in tocharism A. So you have the singular active, you have plakwa, plakust, plakus. Yes, so this is actually the S morpheme. And then the plural is called plak, mus, plakus, plaker. Yeah, but here the S, this means that this the star means that the form is actually not really attested. And then in middle, you have the S morpheme here. Yeah, plukse, pluksate, pluksat, pluksamat, pluksach, pluksant. Yeah, this is the third class, so-called S preterite. Okay. And then the 4, 5, 6 class, actually not so not so popular. Yeah, you only have some how to say that, some specific forms. Yeah, for example, like this nia, so-called nia preterite, we usually have in the word for say. Yeah, so where, wenya. Okay, and then the semantic, the so-called semantic preterite, we only have some, how to say that, some representatives like the root lent or lech, yeah, to go, yeah, to go out. Yeah, so for this root, if you check the dictionary, you would find, wait a minute, I have to show you, wait a minute. So if we check this, this book for verbal systems, you would find the root under this lemma. So it's called lent. So why do we write it here? So why should we write it like this? Because actually the root, the original form should be let, right? Let. But this root usually has a nasal infix. So you have like the nascal, the nasham. This is for B, and then for A, it's the same. I really have a wait a minute. Yeah. You really have a nasal ending here, a nasal infix here. Yeah, but originally the root goes back to Proto-Indo-European leut or leut. Yeah, and this root actually means to yeah, steigen, wachsen, yeah, to grow, to climb, and so on, like this. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yes, so this is actually this root. Yeah. Okay. Mm. Yes, as I said, the last three cases are pretty rare. Yeah. We find only some, how to say that, some representative, some only specific forms under each category. Yeah. Okay. But this form, this word is this preterite. I mean, lech or lent is pretty productive. I mean, or it's pretty. How do you say? It's frequently used in the text. We will find it later. Yeah, you always find this this root. Okay. And then this is the root for come. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the imperative. Okay. So as I explained, we built the imperatives from the preterite stems. Yeah. So this is, for example, the word sansha or curse. Original root is curse. You find it here. Yeah. Yes. So curse for no. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So this is this root, but very interestingly, the root for known is actually etymologically connected with the root for cut. Yeah. So this is an interesting thing, and sometimes we really connect this word, I think, with the Latin word scire, yeah, to know, yeah. Okay. Yes, so you find it here, curse. It is the first class preterite called shesa, okay, shesa. So this is preterite shus, yeah, and then we build the preterite from, we build the imperative from the preterite, right? And you have the class, yeah, don't forget it, there's an upload here. So shus is actually active, and then in middle you have classa, okay? Wait a minute. Yes, and then you have the imperative like class, but with a prefix. So the imperatives in Tocharian is pretty regular. You use a stem, and then you put a prefix per before the stem. So usually, if you so the, how to say that, the marker of Tocharian imperatives is actually the per prefix. Yes, so this is actually, how do you say that, the Kennzeichen, yeah, of the imperatives. Okay. And then you have the other forms, like Yopsa, you have Pyop, yeah? And for Pruksat, you even have a double P, yeah, at the beginning, which I find it pretty difficult to pronounce, yeah. Probably they put a schwa sound in between, so like perksa, yeah, probably. Okay, yeah. And then you have tsar or shapte, and then you have prtsar or shapte. Yeah, so it's the difference is just the p, the per prefix. Okay, and then you have akshi naste, and you have pakshin, and so on. So you can see 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4. Yeah, so imperative always built from the preterite with a prefix per. Okay, so here is a little bit different. Well, this is a word for go, yush, but here you probably find it's similar with a per and this ish. Yeah, so ish and ya, so they come from the same root, right? Okay. Okay, and so on. So this is basically the preterite and imperatives. And then let's talk about the last class, the last category, the preterite participle. So there are actually 4 different kinds in Tocharian B, but in Tocharian A, there are 2 kinds. But basically, you can distinguish between 2 categories. The first one is without reduplication, and the second one is with reduplication. So for example, this word means to make. This is one of the most productive, popular words in Tocharian. So the preterite, so the root is actually called yam. You find it here. Okay, you find the root here called yam, make. And then the preterite is actually yama shawa. You see that's a fourth, yeah, fourth category with a sha, yeah, with a sha. But then you check the preterite, it's pretty simple, yeah, without this sha suffix, right? Yeah, and then the Tocharian A, it's also called yam. But pay attention, here's something interesting. So yam is used in present, subjunctive, and preterite, and also in participle, in Tocharian B, right? But in Tocharian A, you find it only in subjunctive, preterite, and participle. The reason is in Tocharian A, present has another form, another root, It's called yap. You find it here. So a yap provides a superlative present stem. Yeah. So again, we have a suppletion here in Tocharische a, yam. Okay. So you can see the participle is called yamu. Yeah. And then the preterite is the third category. So for the third category, you find the S morpheme in third person singular and then in medium. But you would ask, well, here we have a ts sound. The reason is this is the regular sound change. Actually, in Tocharan and in other Middle Iranian languages, I guess, if we have a nasal and then plus S, and then usually you would have a nasal plus S, right? If you have a should I write it like this? If you have a nasal and then you usually have a T in between, yeah. So it's like if I write it like this, if you have an NS, you usually have an NTS in between. So this is a regular sound change. So it applies also for M. Yeah. So if you have MS, and then you will have a MTS. MTS. So this is a regular sound change. So this is the reason why we have Yamce and Yamsat. But here we have Yamsat. But again, here you have a Yamsach. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's come back to the participle. So the participle of yam, make, is yamu, and it can be of it's a participle. It's kind of adjective, and you can, of course, build other forms. So this is actually nominative singular, and then you can get ablative. You can get an accusative singular. It's called yamosh, and then you can have all the other forms. Yeah. So for the declination, you can get it from the textbook here. So like for yamu, you have yamosh, yamoshepi, and yamosh, yamoshem, yamoshens. Yeah. So this is for B. And for A, you have yamu, yamunt, yamuntap, and yamush, plural, and yamunches, and yamuncheshi. Yeah, this is genitive plural. Yeah. Okay, so this is a preterite participle. Yeah. And then the second kind is actually with reduplication. Yeah, you have like kekesu and kekeshos and so on. Yeah. So actually, the Tocharan preterite participle goes back, go back to the Proto-Indo-European perfect participles. Yeah. So this is why we have reduplication here. Okay, and then the Tocharan preterite, I can write it like this. So actually, the Tocharan preterite has actually two origins. The first one is the Proto-Indo-European aorist, and second one is actually perfect. Yeah. So this is the reason why we sometimes have a S aorist because we have a S preterite, and this goes back actually to S aorist. And we also have reduplication, right? And it goes back to perfect. This is actually the background. And this is also reflected in the participle, right? Okay. And this U and osh goes back also to the participle, perfect participle. In Sanskrit, it's called vas, yeah, right? Okay. In Greek, it's called os and otos and so on. Yeah. Okay, so this is all other examples. So this tool is pretty simple, and it goes back to the lent to go out. Yeah, and then this stall and storm. Yeah, to stand, to stay. Yeah. So so you have already seen the first two categories, and then the third category you see it's not reduplicated, but the final vowel is ow, and then in Tocharische A it's all. Yeah. So this actually go back to the laryngeal at the end. So you can see if we have a laryngeal at the end, and then you have a or here. So like so this is like the U sound is actually typical for the participle. But imagine the word contains a laryngeal at the end. And then you have a word after that. Yeah. So if you have a word after that, and then this laryngeal will turn into a sound, and then this ow will become ow. Yeah. So this is the reason why we have u and ow. The u actually go back to roots containing no final laryngeals, but this ow ending go back to words containing final laryngeals. So, yeah. And the Tocharische b ow corresponds to Tocharische a or. Yeah. So this is a reason. Yes, and then sometimes you also have reduplication. This is yes. I think this is the. I'm not sure. I have to check it. Which word it is? Okay, so this is a word for bring. Yeah. Okay, bring. Come. You have kakamao and kakmu. Yeah, here. You have the kakmu here. Yeah. Kakmu here. Okay. So this is preterite participle. And preterite participle are really actually important themselves. Yeah, because you can build them. You can build like past tense. You can just like the perfect participle and also the aorist participles. Yeah, but they are also important for other reasons, because we can build another important category of forms using preterite participles. Yeah. Namely the absolutive. Yeah. So let's check it. So first, you find the participle here. Yeah. And then from the participle, from the preterite participle, you can build verbal substantives. Yeah. So the verbal nouns, and then you put a suffix. Yeah. So like the word shuf, to eat, and get sheshue, it means essen, Mahlzeit. And then for come, to come, to go. And then you can build kekamor, das Gekommensein, or Ankunft. Yeah. And for the root I, to give, and you can build a yao, yeah, to gather, and so on. Yeah. Okay. And then another important formation is actually the so-called absolutive, corresponding to Sanskrit taba, or ya. Okay. And then how can you get it? So in order to build the absolutive, Tocharische absolutives corresponding to Sanskrit tva or ya, you need to use ablative suffix. Yeah, in Tocharische B it's man, in Tocharische A it's ush. Yeah. So for example, we have a word called inyakten iku women. So like yeah, going to the gods, something like that. Yeah, enacting to the gods, and then ikue from going. Yeah, from e, and then so this word kekten, curse or man. So you find the root curse here, which means to know, and then you get a verbal noun, verbal substantive, cursor, and then you use a ablative suffix, man, to build the absolutive. So corresponding to Sanskrit viditva, and keksen is the word for body. Yeah, so knowing the body, yeah, kaya. Yeah. Okay, and then we have so this is Tocharische B. You have a man suffix for ablative, and then in Tocharische A we have another sentence. We have another example. It's called Shawes, Empedes, Nakas, Asuk, Kutkodesh. So Shawes actually means actually means big. Empedes means schrecklich, and Nakas is accusative plural of Naga. It's a Sanskrit long word. Okay, and Ashuk means completely, and yeah, and Kutkodesh, Kutk means actually to cross, passiert haben. Yeah, so this means the big and terrible and horrible, and yeah, the big terrible snakes completely crossed. So having crossed the big and terrible snakes completely. So this is the meaning. So the root is kutk, and then you build a, and then the participle called kutko, and then you put a after the participle, and to get a verbal substantive, and then you put a ablative suffix to get a absolutive. So this is how we build an absolutive in Tocharische. But pay attention. Well, this is actually the most productive way to build an absolutive in Tocharische. But in Tocharische A, in Ostrohachischen, finden sich gelegentlich Mischbildungen. Yeah. So we actually find other possibilities to get a to build an absolutive. So this is most productive one, but sometimes you actually can get a appellative, yeah, like word kura, and then even a locative. Yeah, so this is other possibilities, but most important is the ablative, men or okay, to get a to build a absolutive. Okay. Okay, I think this is probably for the grammar. And then probably we can talk about the historical phonology. Yeah. So for this, we should use a book by, we should use a paper by Hackstein. It's Hackstein 2017. So talk about the Tocharische phonology. Yeah. I think we mentioned some of the sound changes earlier, like the long vowel R becomes O in A, becomes O in B, and A in Tocharische A it's R. Yeah. So the word brother is called procher in B, but prachar in A. Yeah. Okay. And then probably let's talk about some consonants. Yeah. So because we just mentioned the palatalization of the k, right? For Kurskan you have shesa, yeah. For Kurs you have shesa, yeah. So so let's check this one. So velas, velas and palatals, so they all first become a k sound. So velar and palatal all become simple velar, velar in Tocharische, because Tocharische is a Canton language, right? So the how to say that the typical sound change in the Canton language is that the velar and palatal, they fall together. Okay, they all become the velar. Okay, but this velar k will be palatalized to sh before a high vowel or before a palatal vowel, namely before an air vowel. So this is the reason why we have luksha, but infinitive we have lusha. Yeah. So this lu, lia, is the palatal version of le. Okay, and we also have other examples. Okay, but here it's the palatal version of t. Yeah, t can also be palatalized, and the result is the ch. Okay, but let's check other examples. Well, like this one. Yeah. So the word for adult man is called shlai. Yeah, shlai. It goes back actually to the root, meaning getting old, to get old. Yeah. So the word is actually gierch. Yeah, gierch. And we also have the same root in Greek. And then we have gia, but don't forget, gia will first become a k sound. And the k sound was palatalized by the air vowel, okay? And the k to sh, yeah. So this is the reason why we have a sh here. And then we have stai, yeah, okay. Yeah. And then, for example, the root for poor, you have the root is registered as the roots are registered or recorded in the book as ku. Yeah, so this is actually the 0th grade ku. The Proto-Indo-European form is giech eu. Yeah, giech eu. Yeah, so this is palatal with aspiration, but the palatal and aspiration, they all got lost. So we have actually a k, yeah, and then k in with 0 grade. So this is a ku, yeah. But in preterite, we actually have 4 grade, yeah. So this is the reason why we have sho here, okay, sho, sa, yeah. Okay, so this is basically kind of some historical phonology, yeah. And I have mentioned that the dentals can also be palatalized, right? And we have in Proto-Indo-European 3 different kinds of dentals. So t, voiceless, and dr, voiced with aspiration, right? And in Tocharische, t and dr, they all become t. If it is palatalized, it becomes a ch, okay? So we also mentioned the example, the kinship nouns like father, it's called pacher or pachar, yeah, in Tocharische, yeah. Okay, pachar, pache, okay. The same is here, you have it here. But the voiced with no, so the voiced D with no aspiration, becomes c in Tocharische, yeah, before vowels, yeah. So this is actually a special sound change, and the palatalized allophone is called sh. Yeah, it's different from t and dr. Yeah, d is a little bit special. Yeah. So for example, the the examples. Yeah, Delk in Tocharische it's called Tuk. Yeah, and so Tuk is actually the 0 grade, but if it is palatalized, it becomes a shak. Yeah, shakant. You pour it out and so on. Yeah, and this Tuk is actually a well-known Proto-Indo-European root. It's also preserved in Latin. Yeah, so actually the Latin word here, duco, here. Yeah, so introduction. Yeah, duco. The English introduction comes from the Latin word duco, ducere. This duco is actually cognate with Tocharian word tuk or shuk. Yeah. Okay, so this is this word. Yes. Well, if you are interested, you can check the paper by Hackstein. It's really how to say that? It's really complete and it's well structured. It's pretty clear. Yeah, I think it's much better than some other papers in the same volume. Yeah, so this is actually a 3-volume handbook for historical and European linguistics, containing all the other families or all the Indo-European language families. But some of the papers here are not really clear or not really reliable, I would say. Okay, so this is for the grammar, and let's move on to the reading. So as I explained, we actually have in this text a mixed form, right? So we have verses here. So we have verses here, but we also have prose, right? We have to have prose. So this is a special style in Sanskrit literature. It's called champu. Yeah. So it's so-called champu style. If you want to know more, you can check the sorry. You can check, for example, online lexicons like Britannica. So champu is a special literature. It's a special genre. So this is kind of in Dravidian literature, but it's also very popular in Buddhist texts. So champu is actually a mixture of verses and proses. Yeah, so like we hear. Yeah. So first we have a verse, and then we have a prose part. Okay, so let's check the text. And the translation, you can find it here. Yeah. So this is a German translation here. Yeah. Der gute Ruf der Energischen oder der Kräftigen, ja, verbreitet sich in den 10 Himmelsrichtungen oder 10 Weltgegenden. Und bei Energie wird man von jemandem Verehrung, Wertschätzung und so weiter. Und wird man alsbald die Feinde besiegen und alsbald Wohlstand gewinnen. Und die Energische oder die Kräftigen haben 4 Besitztüren und so weiter. Yeah. So I think we have finished the first verse, and then the second verse we also finished probably. Yeah. And therefore, kasu tumio kasu tsasune kam pruchamo nie pluskam. So therefore, the power or the magnitude, yeah, the power or the energy and so on, yeah. Sanskrit vyayam, yeah. So the power is good, and it is it brings profits. It's beneficial. Sorry, it's beneficial among everything, according to my mind, according to my opinion. Yeah. So purse come from the word persk. Yeah. Actually means to think. Okay. And so on. Yeah. Yes. So then let's move on to the second part, the prose part. So as I said, we can actually compare the German translation here. So actually called durch seine Energie stieg da in früher Zeit der Sohn des Königs Siddhartha, der Bodhisattva, Sarvata Siddha, okay, zum Ozean herab und ging auf die Juweleninsel und nachdem das Schiff mit Perlen beladen und die Karawane nach Jambudvipa entlassen hat, ging alleine 7 Tage lang und so weiter. Ja. Und and now we have a narration, we have a story. Okay. So first I read the sentence and then we can translation a little bit. Yeah. So Tslashu neyo temne, Tslashu neyo temne nesh prashtam Siddharthes land se Sarvata Siddhe Bodhisattva Samudran Kap Nemishim Prankayesh Nemintuyo Ipich Oliyam Sant Jambudvi Pach Pe Yamurash. Okay. So I think we can stop here. So first word, again, the energy or the power word with instrumental suffix. So with energy. Okay. And temne actually means there or so. Yeah. Okay. And then nesh means earlier. Okay. So in earlier time. So prasht. So you see in round brackets are actually the emendation or restoration by the editors or by the translator, zik, emir zik. And prashtam actually means the time. Yeah. So in earlier time. Okay, so this is again a locative singular. And then Siddhartha, Siddharthes, this is a genitive singular ending from Siddhartha. And Siddhartha, I think you know, is actually a Sanskrit word. Yes, yeah. And this Siddhartha is also used in the name for the Buddha, right? Okay. Yeah, and we also know the famous book by Hermann Hesse, right? Siddhartha. Okay. But here, Siddhartha is actually the name of the king. Yeah, so Land is actually the king in genitive singular. Yeah, so the king, Siddhartha, and then Se, actually the son, Zon, yeah, here, in Preterite Zon, yeah. Son of the king, Siddhartha, okay? And the son is a bodhisattva, so he's a bodhisattva. His name is Sarvata Siddha. So Sarvata Siddha is also a Sanskrit long word. So Sarvata means everything or every meaning or every... the artha is kind of difficult to translate. Artha can mean thing, can mean value, can sometimes mean meaning, yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, so here probably is everything, yeah. So Siddha is actually accomplished. So actually he has already accomplished everything. Yeah. So this is just a name. Yeah. You don't need to attach too much meaning to the names. Yeah. So he's a bodhisattva. Okay. So you can see the Sanskrit long word. If if a Sanskrit word is borrowed into Tocharische A, the final R is always lost. So we know that it must be Bodhisattva, right? Bodhisattva. As I explained in Sanskrit, if it is borrowed into Tocharische A, the final vowel R is always dropped. So we have Bodhisattva, yeah. But tu will become tu, yeah. This is the reason why we have Bodhisattva here, okay. And then samudram is again a Sanskrit loanword. You have a Sanskrit word called samudra, right? It means ocean or sea, yeah, right? And if it is borrowed into Tocharische A, the final consonant is really dropped, right? But actually, the Sanskrit was called samudra, yeah, with a short A, right? And samudra means actually water coming together. Yeah, so this is actually the sea, right? And then in Tocharische A, the first R was lengthened into a R, yeah. And then the final consonant, the final R was dropped. So it becomes the samudra, yeah. And the samudra with a locative singular, so it's locative ending. It's called yeah. Yeah. It's called yeah. So with so then with locative ending, yeah. So this is the reason, yeah. So the Bodhisattva with the name Sarvata Siddha descends actually. Karp actually means go down, yeah. So the German translation is actually herabsteigen, yeah, herabsteigen, yeah. So here we have a preterite, okay. So we can actually check the verbal verb here. So the word is called karp. This is a B, and then in Tocharische A, it's also called karp. And the present is a sixth class. So sixth class is actually the na, right? So that's why we have karna here. So again, I have to explain a little bit. So this is nasal stem, karp na. But check it, we have three consonants here. So this is the reason why the middle P was dropped. So we have karna here. So karna, yeah. But the preterite, the first preterite, so we have a R preterite here. So we have karpasht, yeah. And then the third person singular is called karp, yeah. It's just like the root. Okay. And then the preterite, a participle, it's called karkepu. Yeah, so it's reduplicated and then with a u at the end. Okay, so karkepu, yeah. I think for the etymology, yeah, there's some discussions, yeah. Okay. Yes, but it seems not pretty sure, yeah. Okay. But anyway, the word means actually descent or herabsteigen. Yeah. Yes. So this is a root. Yeah. So the Bodhisattva descends into the ocean. Okay, descends into the ocean or descends into the sea. And then we'll stop here. So this is a sentence. So you will always find the verb at the end of the sentence. So like karp, yesh, and also yamusha, but this is absolutive, but still it's a verb at the end. Okay, so then nemishim franka yesh. So yesh here. Wait a minute. I think it's imperfect. we haven't talked about imperfect, but you get imperfect from the present. Okay, so here this is root e called called go. Yeah, it's actually cognate with the Sanskrit word for e for go. Yeah, and of course other Indo-European roots for go. Yeah, yeah. Okay. You have like in Latin and also in Greek, right? And then the present is called yum, yet, yesh, but the imperfect is called yem, yet, yesh. Yeah, this is the case. And then take a look. The subjunctive and optative are missing here because the other stems are supplied by kirk, another root. So again, this is a suppletion. So you can see that suppletion is pretty. Suppletion is actually pretty regular, pretty frequent in Tocharische. Right? Just open the window. Okay. Yeah. So this is the verb. Yesh actually means to go, but imperfect. Okay. I use the ventilator. I use a fan again because my computer is actually screaming. But if my voice was influenced or affected by the fan, please tell me. I can turn the fan off. Okay. Can you hear me now? Now I hope now there's no problem. Can you hear me clearly? Is there any problem with my? Okay, that's great. Okay. So let's move on. So nemishin planka yesh. So plank actually means island. Okay, and nemi is the adjective. Nemishi is actually adjective built from nemi. Yeah, nemi. Yeah. Nemi is actually jewel. Yeah. Juvela. Yeah. And then we can build an adjective with a she suffix. Yeah, so this is the adjective. Jewel, a moment. I forgot how to write jewel. Juvela, I only know juvela. So, jewel. So, of the jewel. Yeah. So, plank is island. Okay, so this is a sentence here. So, king of the Juvel, Juvelinsel. So, go to the Jewel Island. Okay, and then the second, the next one, Nemintu yo pitch or li yam sart jambu repatch pe yamu rush. Okay, so here Nemintu yo is actually instrumental to the plural of nemi. So nemi is jewel, and the plural is called nemintu. Okay, this is actually the plural. And then if you get if you put a yo after that, so it's plural instrumental. So with kind of many jewels. Yeah. Okay, and epitch here means full, like full of jewelry. Okay. And oliyam is actually the word for ship. Okay. So here, ship ship, here, ship, and it is locative. So on the ship, on the boat. I think it's a big ship. So on the ship, full with jewels, and then sarta and sart. Sart is again a Sanskrit loanword. It's called sart. Sart. It comes from Sanskrit word called sarta. Sanskrit sarta actually means caravan. Yeah. Okay, the caravan. And then the caravan to Jambudvipa. So actually they go back. The context, well, the Tocharische version is is actually much abbreviated, simplified quite a lot. If we check the parallel text, for example, in Chinese, we know that first the Bodhisattva, actually he wants to save the whole world. He wants to satisfy the wishes of the whole world. So that's the reason why he wants to take risks to go to adventures and to get the Chintamani. So this is I just to introduce a little bit of the background. So he wants to get the Chintamani. The Chintamani is a Sanskrit word, of course, yeah, and we have the word here. So Chintamani, Sanskrit is Chintamani, right? And it's followed into Tocharische, called Chindamani. So again, you find the sound change, okay? Chint, so chint. So Chintamani means that Wunschpelle in German, he just write the Sanskrit word. So we can actually translate as auf Deutsch heißt Wunschpelle. Yeah. So actually, it can satisfy all your wishes. This jewel, yeah. Money. Yeah. Okay. So the Bodhisattva is of course quite how do you say that? Mitleidisch. He's quite sympathetic with sufferings of all the people in the world. So he wants to get the Chintamani. So he asked an old man. He's blind, but he knows the seaways. And then he, along with a caravan, of course, a sea caravan. So the traveled on the sea and with ships, right? And then he traveled with a caravan and to search for the Chintamani. And along the on the way, they find a trail island, and then the caravan. Well, for the caravans, the trails, of course, are much more important. Yeah. So after they reached the trail island, the caravan leader and the caravan people, they loaded their ship with a lot of jewels. Yeah. And then they asked if the Bodhisattva want to come back with them because they already discovered a lot of jewels. Yeah. And then the Bodhisattva answered, well, it's not enough. If I find the Chintamani, I can satisfy the whole world with boundless, with endless jewels, endless riches. Yeah. Okay. So this is background. So the caravan return back as they go back to the Jambudvipa. So here we find the absolutive, which we have already mentioned. So the root is yam, and then the participle is called. I copied here. So this is absolutive. Right? So the root, sorry, the root is called yam. The root is called yam, and then the participle is called yamu, right? The root is yam, the participle is yamu, and then you put an R here to get a verbal substantive, and then you use an ablative suffix ush to get the absolutive. Okay, and then sput komsa, knukach vramkuk, sput komsa pokena, something's missing here, and kuk, and sput komsa lioman kuk, and sput komsa woods pertwayo oplasio vram oprash opla karman kukorash. So yeah. So sput is 7 and komsa is day, but day in imperative. Okay. So for 7 days, knukach means his throat. Okay, in German. So we can first check the German translation. Okay. So actually, so ging allein 7 Tage lang bis an der Haus im Wasser. 7 Tage lang schwamm mit den Armen. 7 Tage lang ging in Schlamm. Okay. Und nachdem 7 Tage lang im Wasser mit 1000 blättrigen Lotusblumen und von Lotus zu Lotus steigend gegangen war. Okay. So this is actually the background. So for 7 days he walked in water. So here you find the root kirk, which we just mentioned. So kirk is actually the suppletive root of e, right? So it is actually a suppletive of e, and e means to go, go, and go is used in present, right? But kirk is used in subjunctive and preterite. This is kirk. Yeah, find it here. So other stems are supplied by kirk, go. Okay. And then here it is, so we can check the root kirk. Okay, the root is called kirk, go, and this root is used in subjunctive and preterite. So subjunctive is fifth class. Is R, the so-called asked subjunctive. Karkam, karkat, karkash, and then preterite is first class. It's called kirkasht, kirkam, and so on. Here, as I mentioned, it is a form with enclitic pronoun, the third person singular. But if without this enclitic, it's just the root. I mean, the form is just the root, it's kirk. So this is the reason why we have kirk here. And velam is actually the word for water, okay? So ver is water. So velam is again locative singular of ver. So knukach is allative of knuk. Knuk means throat. Okay, so 7 days until the throat. So for the water is pretty deep. I mean, not that deep. Otherwise, he would not appear above the water. So the water reaches his throat, and then he walked in the water. And then for another 7 days, the water probably reaches, or he used his arms. Yeah, pocket is actually his arm. Okay, so he probably again walked in the water, but now the water is not so deep. So he reaches the water probably reaches his arm. Yeah. And then another 7 days, he walked in mud. So liom actually means mud. In German, translated as Schlamm. Okay, so in Schlamm, ging 7 Tage. And then another 7 days, he walked in water, but in this water, or in water in the sense of snake, lake. And in this water, or in this lake, we have oplas. Okay, so oplas is actually lotus. Oplash. Okay, opper. If we check the dictionary, I think the form is opla. We can check it. Wait a minute. So we can use a dictionary by Kalin, which contains, of course, vowel. Words starting with vowel. Yeah. So opla, I find it here. It means lotus. Called opar, but sometimes you have simplified p here. But sometimes it is geminated because it is actually a long word from Sanskrit or from a Middle Indic form. The Sanskrit word is actually utpara, but I think the Pali word should called upara. If we check the Pali dictionary, so we can check the Pali dictionary here in this website, or probably we can check Gandhari dictionary. I think the word is also attested in Gandhari. Yeah, so you can see the word is called utpara in Sanskrit, but Pali is called upara. Okay, but in Gandhari it's a simple p, upara. Okay, upara. So I think the form with double p probably go back to Pali. Okay, so Pali. And the sound change of u to o, I think it's quite natural. Because o in double p is pronounced a short o. Yeah. Short o is quite similar to u, I think. Okay, so this is okay, yeah. And the Gandhari upara was, however, probably read upara. Okay, yeah, it's true. In Gandhari, actually, we write. Yeah, of course, Kharoshthi does not geminate. Yeah, I know that. And in Kharoshthi, we do not write long and short vowels. But this does not mean we don't have long and short in Gandhari verses, because in Gandhari we also have meter, yeah, and in meter we pronounce long and short. So this is probably just due to the script. The Kharoshthi script does not usually Kharoshthi script, we don't write long A or long U or long E. Yeah. But in some documents, we find a special way to write long A, but it's pretty rare. Really, we don't have a long A here. Just like, yes, in Gandhari, the gemination are not written. Okay, and now let's move on to yes. So here, oplas is accusative plural with a yaw. So it's a lake with lotuses, and these lotuses have thousand how to say that, petals, right? Leaves, yeah, thousand. I think it's petals, yeah. Words is actually 1,000, yeah. 1,000 petals, 1,000 leaves. And then, so this is actually in the lake with lotuses, yeah. And this is a reason. This is a reason why he translated as in Wasser mit 1000 Blättrigen Lotusblumen. Yeah. Okay. And then opla. So from lotus to lotus. There are a lot of lotuses. He is actually walking in the lotus lake. And then karman. This is also the word we have just mentioned. So karman. So karman comes from the root carp, right? Okay. So carp is in presence 6, right? So with a nasal. So this is a root, and then the present is called carp, right? And then we use a middle participle, man. Yeah. So this is the reason why we have this. But you can see there are 4 consonants getting together. So we have to make some simplification. So, yeah. So this is why we have karn, man. Yeah. Okay. And then kirkosh is again absolutive. Okay. So having walked in the lake with a lot of lotuses. So again, kirk is a root, and then the kirkal is a verbal substantive, and then with an ablative suffix, ush, ablative ending. Okay, so this is verb. And then I think we can stop here. Yeah. Or we can read a little bit. So pen kursawa arshlasio rar kusan tkana kirk. So he walked on the ground. So tkana is actually ground, appellative. And then this ground has an attribute. It's called lar kushan arshlasio. So covered by the snakes. And the snakes are pretty, I think it's poisonous snake. And for 5 miles, course walk is 5 miles. And pen is cognate with Sanskrit punch, 5. And arshlasio means snake or serpents. And larkusha is the preterite participle of look. I can show you the root is here. Wait a minute. Look. Yes. Okay. Look. This is B, and in A is called look. So the preterite participle is called larku. Okay. So the root is called look. Look means actually cover. Okay, and then the PPT participle preterite is called larku. Yeah, and larku can be declinated. And here it is attribute or description of the ground, and the ground word is actually feminine. Tkan is feminine, yeah. Just like Sanskrit word kshan. Yeah. So if it is feminine, and we can check the grammar, you have here the wu, this is masculine, and the feminine is here. The feminine wusang. So this is the reason why we have lar ku sang here. Sang. So in feminine accusative, it's called lar ku sang. Yeah. Okay. And it is constructed with the word for ground. So he actually walked on the ground covered by the snakes for 5 miles. Okay, so this is everything for today. Thank you so much for your attention and for the whole for the whole session. We will see each other next year. Okay. And so, as you all know, the corona pandemic is now very serious. So please keep healthy and take care of yourself during the long Christmas vacation. Yeah, and to stay at home as long as you can. And, please take care of yourselves. Yeah, we will see each other next year, 2021. I hope that 2021 would at least be a little bit different, a little bit better than 2020. Yeah, okay. Ja, sehr gerne. Ja. Okay, bleiben Sie alle gesund. Und ja, in China, das ist viel besser als in Deutschland. In Deutschland momentan ist wirklich ein bisschen schwierig. Ja. Und, aber immerhin bleiben wir alle gesund. Ja, okay. Okay, dann Wiedersehen und bis nächstes Jahr.